Uh, Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel of Geography Lecture Series. Today I have selected the topic of which belongs to the political geography. As you know, the political geography is also a very vast subject. Uh, Political geography is being concerned to the distribution of people on the surface of Earth and their political system. So in a political geography, we will learn the how the people are being distributed on the earth, in which shape and which form, and what form of political governance or political system they have, under what political system they have been living. But here, not only we have been concerned to the people or the nations, what we call, or the political system, but we are being connecting in political geography means the people who are living under certain political system. What is those political system have a connection with the geography? So how geography has an influence over the political systems or all the people who are living there. It has also been telling us in political geography that how the geography is being shaping to the political system, and how these political systems get benefit from the geography. So today the topic which I have selected from the political geography is the nation states. There are certain terms which are so complex, or you can say which are being used interchangeably, which are being used parallelly by the students. So they take it, they are the same, such as like nation, like the states, like the territory, like the country, or the sovereignty or the territory, what we call it. So these are the terms which are mostly student use in the same way. Either they feel that their meaning is similar. So uh, uh, in this lecture, we will explore what does mean by the nation states, what are the characteristics of nation state, and what are the challenges to the nation states. Whether is there any nation state being present or being located any part of the world, or it is just ideal situation where most of the time people are being talking about the ideal state. I'll be talking about the nation state. So in coming videos, I will also been covering the other topics of political geography, in which we will discuss about the different territories or the regions of the world, like which has a different background, such as like means mostly people are really confused when we take their names, such as like uh, minor Asia, like colony, like territory, like the sovereignty, you can say Middle East, Near East, Far East. So these terms will be discussed in the coming lectures or the coming videos. So let's start today's topic, which is the nation states. So, nation state, is the part of political geography. So now we are coming to the definition or introduction of the nation state. The term nation state is an amalgamation of two different concepts: nation and the state. So if you look at this term, nation state, actually it is the combination. It is the mix or the combination of two words, nation and state. These both words, nation and state, they are quite different from each other. They have also a different background, different meaning. So we'll see one by one what does mean by the nation and what does mean by the state. So nations are usually described as group of people who believe themselves to be linked together in some way based on shared history, language, religion, and other cultural practices, or having affiliation to be particular place. So nation belongs to the people. Mean when somebody asked about what does mean by the nation means people. It's a group of people who are if affiliated with each other, who are affiliated to that particular land, or you can see that nation, that people, or group of people, they are emotionally attached to each other. So The character could be anything, like they have a language, or it can be a religion, or it can be a shared history, or any cultural trait. So those people, they are bound together under certain characteristics. So such characters, I told you, it can be anything: a religion, language, or history, or anything, you know. So they are patriotically, or you can say they are emotionally attached to each other. So they show sympathy, or love, or sacrifice to each other. Nations, whenever they are in the crisis, I'll say at the time of emergencies, they get together, they unite, and they fight against that disaster or that emergency, and they win, and they become the successful. What does mean by states? States are usually defined as a legal political entity with power over the people living inside their border. So in this way, states are associated with the territorial sovereignty. So when it comes to the states mostly be concerned to the territory, means land area, zameen, jiska taluk zameen se. It's not about the people, but it's a land area. So what does mean by this state is being run under certain laws, rules, and regulation, under certain political system, which that territory is being bounded with certain borders. So here, if I say nations means people and the states means territory, so that state are being sovereign, means it has the power or control over their territory, to do some sort of legislation, or whatever you call the political, so power or control over it. So state are, as I told you, states are tied to territory. Sovereign or state absolute rule over territory, though it can be any form of governance there, but it has a sovereignty, have clear borders, they have a clear borders, boundaries, defends and controls territory within those parts. So that state that state has a power or control to their boundaries, so they can have a writ on they have a writ on those borders. So they have what sort of system they want to continue with that, and they have a absolute power on it. Thus the concept of nation states is combination of the nation and the community and the state. So the nation state, the term or the word nation state is a combination of two words: the nation, which is community or the people, and states, the territory or the land. So 20th century was the growth of state. So these states start to flourish or growth in 20th century. The increase in number of states went 1770 in 1930 to over 119 in 2007. So if you look at the growth or increase of these states, they were 17 in 1930, and they were 190 in 2007. So they increased in the number. What was the reason of the growth or explosion of these states? The growth in a state is closely linked to the decolonization. So before the world was colonized, there was few powers or few countries or states where they have colonized the rest of the world, smaller state or smaller countries. So they have occupied their territory, and they were controlling, running from outside. So as empires dissolved, particularly after World War II. So mostly it happens after World War II, when these empires start to dissolve or being break down. So the new states emerge from those. So these big players or big forces who had occupied those land area, they start to recede. They start to leave all these land area, lands, and these become separate entities, you could say independent states. So nation states. A nation state is the idea of homogeneous nation governed by its own sovereign state, where each state contains one nation. So it is quite complex. So if somebody asks you to define or describe or explain the nation state, it's quite complex, honestly, to describe it. What is said, the nation state is the idea of homogeneous nation. So the nation state is having it's a homogeneous nation, means all same, similar, have same feelings, one It means the feelings are being one, are equal by its own sovereign. So not only the nation is homogeneous, but it's a sovereign state where each state contains a nation. So if even the states are being different, but each state has a nation. So despite their obvious difference, the term nation state, nation state are often used interchangeably. So sometimes what happens, the people use these words like nation, the state, or country, or nation state interchangeably, parallelly. Now they all are different from each other if we follow their definition. So the history of nation states, how the nation states emerged. So the history of nation, the idea of nation is associated with the rise of modern system of states yielded to the Treaty of Westphalia. Treaty of Westphalia happened in 1648. Afterwards, the concept of nation states came out. So in this treaty, the power, the sovereignty of the states were discussed and acknowledged, and the external interference were discouraged. That there shouldn't be external interference from outside, I mean outside disturbance to do those states. So the concept of ideal nation, in the context of ideal nation, the entire population of a state pledge allegiance to the national culture. So what has happened in nation state, all the people, they have to look to their states. Means they are always being patriotic or be loving to their countries. So the population can be considered homogeneous on the state level, even if there is a diversity at the lower level of social and political organization, even though that nation has some sort of diversity in terms of social or political standing, but still they have to show the allegiance, the oneness, the acknowledgement, so or ownership to the state. So the state not only provides living to the nation, but also protect the national identity. So if you look at the state, it's not only provide the livings, I mean bread and butter to the people, it's also protect their right and the identity. So it is the responsibility of a state to provide the food, living, and also defense to them. So every member of nation is considered a permanent residents of nation state. So the member who are be living inside that country or that nation is, they are the part of nation state. So there shouldn't be any discrimination. They all are equal, they have equal rights, and they are the permanent residents of that nation states. And no member of the nation state permanently reside outside. So if we belong to any nation states, our affiliation is that state. We must not have any affiliation outside, or we should not live outside the country. The hard fact that there is no pure nation states, but few countries that come close to the concept might be include Japan and Ireland. This is a very hard fact. This is truth that in today's world there is no any pure nation states. So what if you talk about the nation states or characteristics, there's no any country which we would call in a true term that these are the nation state. To some extent, it has been said that Japan or Iceland are being the nation states of the world. But otherwise, there are very few, almost non-existent countries which are being called nation states. Now, you can find lots of nations. We can also find lots of nation states or the countries. So, but you can't find the nation state. It's almost impossible or very, very difficult to find. So I have given because if you look at the characteristics of the nation state, so what are the characteristics of nation state? Number one is the people, means nation, people who are been living inside. The nation state must have a territory. Territory means particular land area where you have a control, where you are been living, or you are been promoting and professing your own ideas or activity, what you call them. So you have a territory. You have a border. You must have a border. So you have a territory, land area, and that land area is fixed with the borders. So borders, they are the fixed land area. So you have a control over your borders, nations or people, territory, borders, sovereignty, sovereignty. So that nation state is sovereign. So it has a full rights to make legislation, uh, do whatever they want to do, or any sort of decisions. So they have a control, a writ over their, or command over their territory. So they are being sovereign, and there should not be any influence outside, any disturbance from outside, and that nation state must have some sort of governance, any political system, be it whether be it any religious government, or dictatorship, or democracy, kingship, queenship, whatever you call it. That nation state must have some sort of a political system or political governance. So what could be the characteristics? Number one, people, territory, borders, sovereignty, and the governance. So these are the five characteristics of the nations. Now we are coming to the challenges to these nation states. What are the challenges? Because as we said that in today's world, uh, this word seems to be, this particular term seems to be idealistic, where we don't find that we have a we have any true nation state in this world. So what could be the challenges? You know, these challenges are always a problem, create problems in making the true nation states, in the development or growth of the true nation state. So the nation state is one of the hallmarks of the modern era. You can say in modern era, it's one of the whole. Since 1990s, there has been a vibrant academic debate regarding whether in the era since then, which is often titled global, post-industrial, or late modern, or post-modern. So we have been discussing in a modern that what could be the challenges in a nation state. So nation states have lost some of their power and authority. So if you look at in today's world, these nation states have lost their power, their authority, even the influence on their people. So we will look at what are those challenges. Many scholars have argued that contemporary nation states face unprecedented challenges to their capacity to implement policies and maintain social cohesion within their borders. So experts feel that nowadays, in today's world, the nation states, they have unprecedented challenges. They even can't, they have had lots of difficulties to implement their policies and to maintain the social cohesion between or among their people. So there are lots of challenges. We see what are those challenges. So the challenges to nation states are not new, and some of them are as old as a nation state itself. So if you look at these challenges, they are not new. They are as old as the nation states itself. So they are being, as the nation state being grown, start to grow, the challenges also start to grow with these nation states. So, however, for several decades, accelerating process of globalization have challenged nation states' capacity to control, contain, and harness flows of people, economic capital, and cultural material to confine political public sphere. So the globalization, one of the challenge which has created lots of problem for nation states. So when we talk about the globalization means the world or the nations or you state, whatever, all the nation states, they are been closing each other. So now through the internet, social media, so people start to interact with each other. They start to debate on certain issues, and they challenges the writ of governments. They challenge the writ of dictatorship or the forces which suppress the people. So globalization, it has created problems. So it can be one of the biggest challenge to the nation states, where now you can say even there's no border. So globalization means no border. So everything be one are being close to each other. So what others could be? The immigration. Look at the immigration means the people who come from other countries, outside countries. So mostly you see the immigration flow of the people influx of the people, flux of people from the other countries, from mostly from the underdeveloped to the developed countries. So it happens in the European or American, countries. They are the developed or industrial countries where people are coming from outside for their work, for the earnings. So the influx of migrant workers and refugee nation states, the global northwest, to tend to increase cultural ideology fragmentation and tension, especially in cases where the immigrants' religion and culture are very different from those of host society. So when these immigrants coming to the host countries, they have a different religious affiliations, they have a different languages, they are coming from different cultural backgrounds, so they come with their own culture. So once they are being coming here, they challenge the what I say, the local cultures, local authorities, because they are been following their own culture. So it is in this case very hard to maintain the cohesion, or the what you say, closeness of people, so unity of the people in this case. So immigrants always create problem for the nation state. Then we have a minorities. So if you see in some nation state, ethnic minorities have challenged the tradition model of nation-based citizenship, because they claim rights based on principal alternate citizenship. So this is, they rely on international convention and recognize individual human rights. So whenever you go to these countries, nation state, every country has a problem. So they have, every country is a minority. So if you have a minorities, means it is not you have a strong what is a national cohesion, or unity in there, because minority always feel, or they feel that their rights are being suppressed, or they are not being getting the attention of majority of the people. So they are being always feel that they are not being the part of their culture or their country. So they always look at other countries who come for their protection, or they are being relying on the international conventions or the laws or rules regulations to protect their rights. So immigration minorities, they are always national disintegration. So increasing economic inequalities between regions within nation states, and the rise of identity politics since the late 20th century have increased the likelihood of national disintegration in some countries through the development of separatist feeling among some ethnic groups, and a phenomena sometimes called the balkanization. So it is similar, like where there is a imbalance of economic well-being or stability. So if there's economic inequality, means certain people who are economically strong and some are not, so there is feeling of inferiority, or say disunity in those nation states. So in this case, they start to feel that they are being betrayed. They are being betrayed by the state, what we call this. So they start to look somewhere else. So in this case, national disintegration looks a distant dream. We can also discuss the example of Pakistan. Pakistan, you look at we have a 4 political units, provinces. Yeah. So most of the people, most of the minor, I'll say the smaller province, they feel that their rights, or you can say, or economic well-being are being taken away from the states. And the states have a consideration or attention for the certain communities or certain people who are being more powerful, I'll say. So in this case, they sometimes feel that they are being not being taken care, or not being taken, their rights are being, they are not being part of that. So in this case, national disintegration become difficult. So even in the Pakistan, the government start lots of campaigns, start different campaigns to create national integration, that all the people are, they are being integrated. But if you have economic inequality, or your rights are being not absorbed, so in this case, it's almost impossible. Cultural globalization. So the free flow of ideas and information through the internet, particularly social media, and increasing global distribution of consumer goods have eroded the role of national state as a producer and dismantler of the national ideas, norms, or the test. So now we have a global culture. It's not like, if you look at the people of different countries who are living in those countries, they feel that they are the part of international culture. You know, they watch movies, they listen music, you know, or you can they follow these sports. So because of the internet revolution, not only they are being following certain, you know, certain things, but they are being debating and discussing. So or through the social media, so it create it gives the impression of one culture, global culture, where people start to own that culture. So even if you feel, if there any actor or actress or a musician, any sportsman or any historian or any doctor or any engineer or any technician who are even belong to US, or you know, or any part of the world, you know, but people own them, people follow those people, you know, and they feel that they are our heroes, or they are our leaders. So cultural globalization also have shaken the what is say, the nation states, or the feeling of nationalism also being disintegrated or being disturbed here. uh, Global civil society. There's a new concept of global civil society because of the fast communication. We have been interacting, and so that interaction is so quick. We can have a connection with any person, with any organization, with any entity, you know, through the internet, so through social media or through organizations. So new social movements and non-government organization like NGOs and new social movements that highlight the issues such as the rights of indigenous people, the rights of sexual LGBTQs, minorities, animal rights, or environmental, present complementary challenges to the nation state. So nation state, we say the what is the characteristic. We look at that they have a sovereignty, and they have a control over over their territory through the political system, such as the political system, and they have a national cohesion. But if you look at this factor, global civil society, where you see the lots of social movements are being started, and which has an impact over the world, or over the societies. Like non-government organizations also been created. They are non-government organization. They are not part of any government, but still they are been providing and facilitating to the people. At the same time, they also protect the rights of people. So social movement, a recent example, like what happens in America, where the black person was being killed. So look at how people started. So the protests start everywhere. Start from America. It happens in America. He was I'll say the American nationals, but the protests went all over the world, like in France, like in UK or other part of the country. So look at how the cohesion, the global society has been emerging, where they are been discussing the different issues which are being concerned to the globe. Like we have issues of gay or homosex rights. So where the people are who are been living in different parts, but they have feeling or affiliation with each other, who are the gay people or homosexual people who are living in different parts. So they emerge themselves and come out with a global society, and they start to campaign for their rights. Similar, like we have a rights of animals, you know, environmentalism, where you feel that our environments are being degrading every day. So there are lots of issues of pollution, climate change, global warming. So this issue, like, it's not a issue of any one country. So in this case, environmentalists who feel that we need to do some sort of actions, to protect our environments. So they bring the people from different parts of the world. So in this also case, our national cohesion are being disturbed. So we have a global society, emergence of global society. Religious extremism. Religious extremism, you say, a new wave, say, the contemporary re-emergence of religious extremism poses the two types of challenges to the nation states. If you look at any country, any nation states who have a different people having a different religious affiliation. You know, even if you are being Muslim, so Muslim are been following the different sects. So they have a affiliation with their own religious doctrines. But here, religious extremism, when you are being feeling that you are, what you say, you are more sacred, or you say, uh, uh, right in terms of other people. If you compare other people are inferior. You are, you know. So in this case, people start to express their religious feeling in extremes views. So they throw their religious doctrine or religious belief on the other people, and they want other people to, you know, to own them, to follow them. So first, within the nation state, religious extremists threaten interfaith coexistence. So because the people have a different faiths. So if you have a religious extremism, it's always been disturbing the coexistence of the people. And they challenge the institutions that help to maintain ethnic, religious, and gender diversity through integration. So what you had integration in which you have a different ethnical background or ethnical people who have a different ethnical backgrounds or religion or genders, male, female, whatever the gender you have. So they will be united under the national integration. But if you have a religious extremism, that religious extremism always have a impact, negative impact on the national extremism or national integration. So inclusion and power sharing. Second is a force external to nation state, which spread out, unite other nationalities too. So like, you know, if you are being professing or promoting certain band of religion, you know, it not only being promoting within the borders, but it's go outside the borders and being spread to other other countries. So where the people start to follow, like even you can say in terms of, I'm not talking about the extremism, but in terms of religious doctrine, like, you know, if you look at the Muslim world, they are being, you know, spread everywhere. They are being every part of the world. So, but these Muslim are being divided into two sects. One is the Shia, one is the Sunni. So Shia and Sunni, they have affiliation, are followers in different countries. So in this case, I'll say national integration also have an issue. So these were the challenges which always been there to disturb the nation state. So it was all about the nation state. I hope you understood what we discussed here. So in the next lecture, I will come out with other topics which are related to the political geography. And we'll discuss the the different territories of the world who are being run under different political systems. So we'll also explore, like, we have a East Asia, we have West Asia, we have Minor Asia, and we have a, what I say, we have a South Asia, we have a Southeast Asia. So these are the bigger regions of the world we also discuss in the coming lectures. So till then, take care of yourself, and please comment, share, and like this video. Thank you. Thank you very much.